The other part to solving is being able to set up and solve these work type problems. They're all pretty much set up the same way, set up and solved the same way. You just have to know how to do that. Alright, so for the first example here, it says Charlene can wash a car in 15 minutes and Robert can wash the same size car in 12 minutes. This is the equation we're going to use. So we'll talk about how to get that set up. How long will it take them to wash the car if they work together? So for the first fraction here, you're looking at the first time. So it says it takes Charlene 15 minutes to wash the car. So then we set that one up as x over 15. And then we look at the other person's job. If there's 3 people, then you have 3 fractions. But there's usually only 2 people. Okay, so here it says Robert can wash the same car in 12 minutes. So that's this fraction right here. X over 12. And it says how long does it take them together? So together means we're going to add these 2 things.
You are now muted.
We're going to add them. And we want to know how long it takes them to wash the one car, to do the one job. So that's why it's always equal to 1. Okay, so what we're going to do between these 2 numbers is try to find a common denominator. So if you list the multiples of 15, it's 15 times 2 is 30, 15 times 3 is 45, times 4 is 60, and then times 5 is 75. So those are the multiples of 15, and then you do the multiples of 12. So 12 times 1 is 12, times 2 would be 24, times 3 is 36, 4 is 48, 5 is 60, and then right there I see that I have a common number of 60. That means I want to make both of these denominators 60. Plus 60. And I actually want to make this one 60 as well. So making all the denominators the same. So then I got to ask myself, what do I multiply 15 by to get 60? Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to multiply it by 4. But whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top as well. So this is 4x up here. And then same thing for the 12. What do I have to multiply 12 by to make 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply it by 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So it's 5x here. And this is a 1. So what do I have to multiply 1 by to get 60? Well, I have to multiply it by 60. So this one always gets multiplied by the number as well. And it's whatever that number, whatever the least common multiple is, that's what this is always going to be multiplied by. Because it's 1. 60 over 60 is just going to cancel and leave you 1. Okay, so once all the denominators are the same, then I can ignore them. And I'm just solving this problem right here. 4x plus 5x equals 60. So if I combine my like terms, 4x and 5x makes 9x equals 60. And then divide it by 9. So x equals, well, this is probably where you're going to need your calculators, your phone calculator, or you can use the computer calculator. Because usually these are decimals. So then you're just going to round them. So in my calculator, so in the calculator here, I just do 60 divided by x, 60, and then divide it by 9. And it's 6.6 repeating. So on the homework, it's going to say round to the nearest tenth, which is just 1 decimal place. So here, the 6.6 is going to round this up to 6.7. That's all I'm going to put here. It is units, but I'll already give you the units. All you need to do is give me the number. So it's 6.7, and these are in minutes. Again, technically the answer is 6.6, repeating all 6's all the way. We just round it to the first decimal place. Okay, so that's how all of these are going to be set up. You're going to set them up using the 2 numbers that they give you, the times, and then you're going to add them, sometimes subtract. Okay, so if we look at 15, same idea here. So it says Shelly can paint a fence in 8 hours and Karen can do it in 4 hours. How long does it take them if they work together? So again, for the first person's fraction, they can paint it in 8 hours. So we just set that fraction up as x over 8. And then for that's the 8 hours here. For the second person's fraction, we set that one up, if they can do it in 4 hours, we set it up as x over 4. Since they're working together, that's why we add them. And they're just doing the one job. Okay, so now I need the least common denominator between 8 and 4. So 8 is 8, 16, 24. 4 is 4, 8, 12. So they both have 8s as their common multiple. So I want to make all of these have denominators of 8s. Well, this one already has an 8, so that one's just going to stay x over 8. What do I got to multiply this one by to make it 8? I got to multiply it by 2. Multiply this by 2, so that's 2x. What do I have to multiply 1 by to make it 8? I got to multiply it by 8. So this one is 8 over 8. So once they're all the same, you can ignore them. And we're just trying to solve 1x plus 2x equals 8. So here, 1x plus 2x is 3x equals 8. And divided by 3, x is, we're going to have to come over here and get our calculator. Again, most of the time these are fractions. Not every time, but most of the time they are going to be fractions, or decimals. So here we're just going to do 8 divided by 3. And we get 2.6 repeating. So 2.66 repeating rounds to 2.7 if you round it to one decimal. And this time the units are hours. So it'll already say the units on the homework. You just have to round it. Okay. Okay, so the next problem deals with Anita and Fran. It says they have volunteered to contact every member of their organization by phone to inform them of an upcoming event. That should be event. Fran can complete the calls in 6 days. So right there, the word is hidden for this one, but you can just locate the number. So we're going to say that one's x over 6. And then it says Anita can complete the calls in 4 days. So then that's this fraction, x over 4. And it wants to know how long it takes them if they work together. So we're going to add them and make it equal to 1 because they're still just doing the job of calling out the numbers. Okay, so we want the least common multiple between 6 and 4. So 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, so on. 4 is going to be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So right there I see that the least common multiple between them is going to be the 12. So I want to make all the denominators 12. So 12, 12, 12. That's a 12. Add them and make them equal. So what do I have to multiply 6 by to make it 12? I have to multiply it by 2. So then multiply this one by 2. So we get 2x. What do I have to multiply 4 by to get 12? I have to multiply it by 3. So this one is 3x. And what do I have to multiply 1 by to make it 12? I have to multiply it by 12 to get 12 over 12. So again, all the denominators are the same. So I'm left with 2x plus 3x equals 12. So 2 plus 3 is 5x. And divided by 5. X is, let's do the calculator again, see what it's going to be. So 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. So this one we don't have to round this time. We can just leave it as 2.4. And this is days for this one. So again, I already have the units. All you got to do is find the number and round. Okay, so notice with all these examples, I want to know how long it takes them working together. This last one, I actually want to know how long it takes them working alone. So for this one, let's read through it. An electrician can wire a house in 20 hours. So we know this is going to be x over 20. That part's the same. If he works with an apprentice, the same job can be done in 12 hours. So this one right here, 12 hours, is x over 12. But this time the question is, how long will it take the apprentice working alone to wire the house? So when it wants alone, this is actually a subtraction problem. Because I already have the together ones, I want to subtract the time that it takes the electrician to figure out how long it takes the apprentice by himself. Okay, so this is a subtraction. It's still going to be equal to 1 though, because they still want to know how long does it take them to do the one job. So over here, this is where you have to be careful. The fraction that you want to put first is the together fraction. So put the together first. I'm going to kind of, before I do the x over 20 part, I'm just going to kind of set it up. So this one's the together fraction. And then this one is the individual time. So the alone fraction I'm going to put here. So how long does it take the electrician alone to do it? So it's always going to be where the together one is the quicker one, which means it has the smaller denominator. So x over 12 you want to go first because that's the faster one, because it has a smaller denominator. Minus the alone one is the 20 hours. So x over 20. But you still make it equal to the 1. So when you want the alone time, how long does it take them to do the job alone? You're going to subtract. And you always subtract with the smaller one for the smaller denominator first, because the smaller denominator means a bigger fraction. Okay, so if we look at these multiples, we're trying to find the least common multiple between these two. So counting by 12s, we have 12, 24, goodness, that's a 4, times 3 is 36, times 4 is 48, times 5 is 60. Well, we know it's going to be 60 there because it ends in a 0. So here 20, 40, 60 for this one. So 60s are my least common multiple. So I want to make everything have a denominator of 60. So 60 minus 60 equals 60. So what do I have to multiply 12 by to make it 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply it by 5. Oops, sorry, not there. And multiply this fraction by 5. So I multiply this one by 5 to get 60. So then I multiply this one by 5 and get 5x. What do I have to multiply 20 by to get 60? I have to multiply it by 3. So I'll multiply x by 3 and get 3x. And what do I have to multiply 1 by to get 60? I have to multiply it by 60. So 60. So again, all of these go away. So I have 5x minus 3x equals 60. 5x minus 3x is 2x. And divided by 2, x is 30. So this time we actually don't have to round. The answer is 30, and the units are going to be hours. So 30 hours for this one. So if it says round, then that means it's going to be a decimal. If it doesn't say round, it's probably not a decimal. So here, these are the work problems that you need to be able to do. So again, when you're looking for together, you add. When you're looking for the alone time, you subtract.